This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Happy Thursday, folks. It's great to be back here again, and I have wonderful Christina from the Mohsin team with us. How are you today?
I'm really good, Sarah. How are you doing?
Doing well. So what are we sharing today with our listeners?
There's a lot to talk about in the world of finance, and you brought it to my attention yesterday that it is Financial Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's Financial Literacy Month.
Oh. So, there's a lot of questions that clients do call in and ask about, and there's one big confusing topic that when somebody's looking at refinancing and they're looking at consolidating debt that they're fearful of. And I like to dispel this and take a minute out and kind of explain it to you. Mm-hmm. When you have a balance on your mortgage on your home, and I show you how you can consolidate a credit card or a student loan or a car payment into your mortgage, you're always worried, well, I'm then making this credit card into a 30-year payment. No, You're not. You're actually doing two great things for yourself. One, you're lowering the interest rate on your mortgage, and also lowering the interest rate on the credit card. And then two, you turn that debt into a tax deduction because all the interest that you pay on your home is still tax deductible. So it's a smart way of spending your money, and especially with a low fixed interest rate, you know monthly how you can get that mortgage to be paid down. Whereas a credit card, you make the minimum monthly payment, which is $200, $300, $400. You get your statement the next month and nothing's changed. Or maybe it even went up. So you don't want to see that happen, but with a mortgage, it's putting you on a nice basic plan where you can see your debt going down, and you get the return with all of the interest at the end of the year as well. But then you're also worried about, well, I don't want to amortize it for so many years. Then don't. If you're used to making that $200 or $300 a month credit card payment, just keep making that payment, but pay it to your mortgage. Get that mortgage, because every mortgage payment that you increase what the minimum amount is due goes right off the principal amount for you. I'd rather see that money going back into your pocket instead of going into one of the credit cards or a car loan payment. I'd rather see it return on your investment. And also it was noted on CNBC that February, just this past February, has reached an all-time high in consumer debt. So there's a lot of credit cards floating out there. And there's a lot of different type of private loans that people are taking, next check for payday type loans that are out there. Now's the time to get rid of them. It's the time to get rid of them because property values are increasing, so that's your equity increasing. And you want to get rid of that high interest rate debt and put it into a nice low fixed mortgage interest rate. What a great time to be able to take advantage of it, and just give us a call. We'll show you how it's done.
Right, and at the end of the day, working 2 or 3 jobs is just simply taking time away from your family. I had a very good friend of mine, Gwen, who had chatted with me about wanting to give back more to her church and to also make some renovations to her home. And the biggest concern was that she wasn't able to contribute as much as she wanted to her church and her community. And she was struggling between mortgage payments and credit cards. And so we put everything together and consolidated all the debt. And there's 7 million American households that can greatly benefit from just removing debt and reducing mortgage payments and are unaware of it or simply haven't taken the time out because we have busy schedules and here we are, the weather's cleared up, so we want to be outside, but it takes 5 minutes. So
that's it.
We can chat with you anytime, and we can make that happen for you. Even let's say if you think you've actually done something to your credit score that is going to completely have devastating effects, we can repair and rebuild. That's the big part of life. You can always repair and rebuild.
We just don't kick you out the door and say it's not going to work. Goodbye.
Right.
And we're here to help you and, gear everything towards your best financial interests and make sure that you're in full understanding of what your credit reads and how your finances should be set.
I think it's important for folks to have hope always. I think it's one of my favorite words in the English language. And to know that there's an option here where things can change and will change because a person being denied on a loan or a purchase on their property is often in a place where they feel that it's not going to change. And it does change, and everything changes sometimes minute by minute. So the big part of it is, are you going to ask the question? Are you going to find out whether or not you can save $800 or $400 on that mortgage? And there's so many, and numbers are fun because there's so many ways to work the numbers to work in your, in your favor. So you can reduce the payment by simply cutting the term. You can go from a 30-year to a 15-year term, or even to a 20-year term. Rates are in the 4s and 3s, depending on the term of the loan that you wish to use. And also, you can definitely reduce it further by getting rid of student loans and high interest credit cards as well as car loans. So there's so many ways to look at this. I've had situations where friends of mine have said, I have to move homes because I need a bigger home. We're expecting a third child. And I've said, well, maybe you don't want to leave that current home. Maybe you want to refinance, take money out, and do renovations and expand that home because you like the school district, because you enjoy that area. You have family members and neighbors that you're used to, you've known for 10, 12 years. And they've been surprised. They've actually said, oh, well, that is a good idea because we can build an addition.
That's why we like to talk to you. We want to hear from you. We want to, know. It's the second question that I ask when people call is, what can I do for you? What can I do to make your life better? Because money is just a number. But when it comes to dealing with your mortgages and the finance, I'm actually increasing your time. I'm increasing your time with your family. I'm increasing your time away from the office. And I'm increasing your time with being able to focus more on your faith, your family, and fun, too. There's a lot of fun that you can have when you're not, having to work 45-hour work weeks, 80-hour work weeks, whatever the case may be. You don't need an extra job. You want to, treat this as not just numbers, but also time. We're giving you the gift of time with it as well.
Right. And I mean, it's not like you're going to be working with several different people through the process. I think that becomes problematic with a lot of folks when they're working with lenders where they get lost in the shuffle. There's like 8, 10, 12 different people touching your file. With us, you have the same person working through the process with you, answering questions. And as I've said, it is very circular life in itself. You purchase a home, you may want to refinance, and then you want to be mortgage free. You want to live in the home, but you don't want to pay the mortgage. We have that option as well, where it's government sponsored, it's transparent, it's easy, it doesn't require income verification or whether you've been late on the mortgage or if you have high debt. Those are not things that we look at. And it is government sponsored, so there's nothing hidden whatsoever. And if I were 62 years of age, I would definitely move forward on it. I've had several folks who are very much moving forward on this type of option. And even if their spouse is younger than 62, they are in a place where they can still move forward. It doesn't mean that both parties have to be 62 years of age.
Some people don't even believe it's real, that it could really happen. And it's such a pleasure to be able to explain the program to them and introduce what it can do for them and their livelihood and their families. So, give us a call. We'll love to show how it can work for you.
And as I've always said, there are different options for different needs. If you are looking, let's say, at possibly a home equity line or a credit line that you feel is not a mortgage, it is a mortgage. I want folks to know that usually there are adjustable rates, and just find out what you're holding on to. There are actually some loans which we've seen as well. There are exotic loans where they're called option arms, and a lot of folks may not realize that there's like 4 options to pay towards. One is percentage of the interest, the other is just the interest only, and often that is actually depleting the equity in the property, and the rate is based on the LIBOR, the London index, which adjusts regularly, which can become problematic because it can go up from maybe a 3 to a 9 or a 12%. That's what we do. We are the technical team as well as your support team to make sure that you do have the lowest payment and that you understand the options that are available. Again, as I've said, it is a buyer's market, so it's a great time to look at properties as well, to purchase homes and to just reinvest into, building, some equity with a vacation home perhaps, or even rental properties. We do have low down payment options, much lower than what you would see with retail banks. And Christina, do you have any other things that you wanted to cover?
I do like what I've been talking to actually a couple of our Bostonian clients is purchasing a home in Florida. And you think, wow, who wouldn't want a house in Florida, especially after this crazy winter we've had? but they don't realize how affordable it actually is. The taxes are fantastic down there, and property values, you're going to get a lot of home for very little money, and especially with the low interest rates that we can offer you. So give us a call. We'd like to show you what your payments would be and what you might be looking at for the future.
Folks, call us here at 1-800-662-9550. And thanks so much, Christina, for being with us today.
Thank you, Sarah.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.